What's up, Star Wars fans? We only have 3 episodes left of The Mandalorian, so let's talk about The Mandalorian Chapter 22. Obviously, Chapter 22 is going to have a hard time following Chapter 21. It was an exciting episode for many different reasons, whether it was seeing live-action Mandalorians taking on the pirates, or the aerial battle between Din Djarin, Bo-Katan, and the pirates, or even a live-action Zeb Orrelios from Star Wars Rebels. I mean, there was just a lot to love about Chapter 21. So you gotta think that this is going to be a slower paced episode, probably setting up the ending of this season. And certainly that is somewhat supported by the end of Chapter 21. We know after the Mandalorian victory on Navarro, the Armorer has charged Bo-Katan with reuniting all Mandalorians. And then the Armorer tells us that it's time to take back Mandalore. But here's the thing, we have no idea if Din Djarin is going to be going with Bo-Katan. Is he going to take the Darksaber with her and help reunite all the Mandalorians? Well, that certainly makes a lot of sense, and of course that's also a good setup episode for the end of the season. No doubt Din Djarin and Bo-Katan would somehow have to prove themselves to the mercenaries, perhaps even go on a mission with the mercenaries to help them. I mean, after all, in Season 2, Bo-Katan and the other Mandalorians didn't look very favorably on the Children of the Watch and their extreme religious beliefs. That said, though, they were few in numbers, and they did recruit Din Djarin to help them on a mission, and overall they were pretty impressed with Din Djarin. So perhaps a similar story plays out this season. Bo-Katan and Din Djarin track down these mercenary Mandalorians and recruit them to their cause. However, those Mandalorians have a special mission that they're on that could use some extra help, and Bo-Katan, Din Djarin, and maybe even Paz Vizsla and some of the other Mandalorians from the Children of the Watch, while they help them out, impressing the mercenary Mandalorians and convincing them to join an alliance. This type of setup story would certainly march us towards a climactic event taking back Mandalore in Chapter 24, the season finale of Season 3. But that all said, there was also the fact that Moff Gideon was rescued in Chapter 21. Was it the Mandalorian mercenaries that Bo-Katan is going to talk to that rescued him? Personally, I don't think so, and I recently put out a video on how I think he was actually rescued by Mandalorians, so make sure you check that out. That said, there's also this image from the trailer that I don't believe we've seen that really supports the idea that Din Djarin and Grogu are going to go off and do their own thing while Bo-Katan's out there recruiting Mandalorians. Remember in Chapter 17, Din Djarin was actually trying to repair IG-11. He wanted some extra protection for little Grogu as they went to the planet of Mandalore. And while in hindsight that certainly would have been great, so perhaps Din Djarin is thinking if the Mandalorians are going to take back Mandalore, he wants to rebuild IG-11 to help protect little Grogu. And of course, as we already know from Chapter 17, those parts aren't readily available, which means that Din Djarin and little Grogu end up going to some sort of droid cantina. This idea or theory also fits the bill of a quieter episode after the excitement of Chapter 21. And it certainly makes a lot of sense to me because it's going to take the focus away from Bo-Katan and put it back on Din Djarin and Grogu in their relationship, which is really supposed to be the focus of this series. I mean, little Grogu did navigate his way back to Bo-Katan to help rescue his dad, aka Din Djarin, but other than that, he hasn't done a lot this season. And so from that point of view, I'd certainly love to see a little father-son episode between Din Djarin and Grogu. But that all said, Star Wars fans, let me know in the comments below, which direction do you think we're going? Is Din Djarin going to follow along with Bo-Katan, or is he going to go on his own way with little Grogu? Let me know in the comments below. As always, I'm Mike, and remember, the Force will be with you always.